Oh, well, raise your hand. I see none. Great. No, but it's okay. I'm still happy to be here and provide support. Oh, I see one. Hey, Rolando. Yeah, so I'll hand it back over to Will if you want to get us started.
Yeah, so don't have an agenda slide, but really quick, we'll go ahead and jump into some convention prep. If you guys have attended the sub-regional retreats, some of this information will be familiar to you for the Region 7 sub-regional retreats, and then we're going to go over some dress attire. And Cindy, I think you added a couple more slides. Do you want to give a
Yeah.
sneak peek of what those will be?
So one is actually dress attire, but also like what to pack overall, just kind of serve as a reminder. And we'll open it up for a Q&A afterwards.
Perfect.
So
All
keep putting questions on the chat. We will touch on those. If we touch on those as we go on, good. But if not, we'll leave it until the very end and we'll address those.
Yep, and I did see the question come in over competitions. We'll cover that, so don't worry. And then let me open this up. So we're gonna jump straight into it, everyone. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, and we'll go from there. So, I've been to 10 or 11 of these conferences now as a student, 4, 5, 6 times, and now as a professional recruiting for previously Rockwell Automation, and today I work for Microsoft, so I can give you guys some insight from what I've seen over the years. Cindy, I don't know if you mentioned where you work, just to if folks have
Yes, I
questions.
work at SLB, formerly known as Schlumberger. So oil and gas, technology, energy. That's me.
And I believe Cindy and I both studied industrial engineering, if that matters to anyone. There you go. Okay, so meet the sponsors. My tips and tricks of what I like to pay attention to here is these visionary sponsors and the innovator sponsors and the ambassador sponsors that you see at the top. They've spent additional funding on getting their names here. You're going to see them all over the conference. To me, what this means is that they're likely hiring more and they're going to be having more workshops. They might have more hospitality suites. They might have more opportunities to engage with students. I'm going to speak from the professional side. I've seen it now where folks have spoken of, hey, our return on investment for hiring talent is XYZ. So when they invest more, usually it means that they're looking to hire more. So I would think about that as you guys are looking at, hey, what companies do I want to go talk to, or where should I start researching? And then another great area, this Industry Partnership Council. These folks are companies that are partnered with SHPE for the long term. They sponsor every year 45, 50K that SHPE requires them to pay to be a part of this IPC council. And they're all going to be at the convention. They're all going to have one workshop that eligibility for, and they're all going to have at least one interview booth that they're eligible for. So if it was me, and this was my first time attending the conference, I would start doing some research on these companies. For the most part, these companies are going to be in attendance. They are going to be hosting workshops, and they are going to be at the career fair. If anyone has any questions, put them in the chat on that. Cindy, I don't know if you want to add on to anything for the companies here.
Nope.
I think the only other thing I would mention is that if you are looking for graduate school or a master's program, PhD, there is going to be universities. And if you are looking, we have RGRs for both on my team and Cindy's team, and the RGRs, the regional graduate representatives. If you're interested in graduate school, or hey, how do I pay for that, or should I be paying for that? They'll be able to partner up with you. But then you also have all these universities that attend the conference every year, and they'll be able to tell you what offerings or what programs they have. Okay, so that's where I would start. And again, I'm going to go through this really quickly in hopes that we get to Q&A with you guys. I would start there, and then next thing, we're just going to go down this list, and then we're going to cover, go to Q&As. So I think, Cindy, you wanted to cover FAQs.
Yeah. So just an FYI, there is a FAQ page on here. Sometimes we do receive questions on registration. If you need to transfer a registration from one person to another, there are some of those answers on here. So just make sure that you check this page before you reach out to either Will or myself or anyone on SHPE staff. SHPE staff has been seeing an influx of emails as of lately. Of course, there's always been issues with early bird questions on this and that. So just make sure to check the FAQ page. Maybe your answer is in there.
Yep. And I will say, my chapters here in Region 7, they've been asking me hey, we're trying to get a hold of SHIP. We're trying to get a hold of SHIP. Guys, now that we're 2 weeks before the conference, they're going to be 1,000 emails a day.
Yeah.
If they're not getting back to you and it's urgent, at least for Region 7, copy me on it.
Yeah.
Have your president reach out to me. I don't need 10,000 students reaching out to me. So have your president reach out to me and I'll do the best I can to help. I'm sure Cindy will
Been
be
doing
okay
the
with.
same.
Yep,
Yep.
perfect. And then I saw a question from David. I have heard that there are different conferences/events. What is that? David, I'm assuming that you're talking about the tracks on there. So give me a thumbs up if it might be it. If not, you can figure out how to give me a thumbs down and that'll work too. There are multiple tracks in the conference. My recommendation, if you guys are in undergrad, would be the undergrad tracks. These are going to be workshops focused around undergraduate students, companies that are hiring for undergrads or looking for undergrads, being that the majority of the conference is undergraduate students. I always push students to at least start there. You'll have the Sheptinas track where I think it's long, multiple workshops throughout the day. They have panels, they have lunch and learns, specifically tailored towards Sheptinas, all also sponsored by companies. ShepTech, what's happening in technology, entrepreneurship tracks. There's a professional track for our Shep professional members. If you're a community college student and you're looking to get to learn more about, hey, how do I go from community college to the university, or what should I be considering? I know that they'll have panels, and I've seen where they bring on folks who already did community college, went to university, graduated, and now are in the professional world, and they're coming back to tell their stories and support any community college students who are at the convention. I will mention, if you guys are bringing your advisors, there's going to be a track for them. A few of the schools in my region have mentioned that they're bringing their deans or slash professors to the conference. If you are and they have not contacted someone at Ship National or haven't been contacted, there's a special separate track for deans that are going. Cindy, anything you want to add on these tracks? David, I hope that answered your question.
Aside from the tracks, you are going to cover like hospitality suites versus workshops, right? On the
Yep.
agenda?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Then
We're
nothing
good.
else to add.
Good point. When we went to FAQs, I totally skipped the agenda, so we're going
Yeah,
back to the
so I was
agenda.
like, you're going to cover that, right?
You're good. What's an agenda? All right. So the agenda, as you guys might be aware, the conference starts November 1. So giving you some insight, this is actually relatively new. Conference used to start Thursday and everyone would arrive Wednesday. Now we're seeing folks arrive Wednesday or Tuesday, and we're seeing events start on Wednesday. So you'll see, you go on here, find everything that's going on. Registration begins at 8 a.m. and they'll be going until 8 p.m. If you do not arrive by 8 p.m., the next day they'll open up and you can get there in the morning. Something I'm going to call out that to me is important. I know we're going to cover competitions later. I recommend you get one team registered for the Academic Olympiad from each university. It's a team of 3 that competes in the Academic Olympiad. I haven't seen it yet, but in the past there was cash prizes for the Academic Olympiad, and it's a relatively low time commitment competition. So I like it. It's 2 nights and 1 or 2 hours each night. I'm going to go ahead and skip just to give an example to 4 p.m. And this is where I like to kind of start the examples of, hey, you guys are going to go to the conference. You're going to get this piece of paper that's going to show you all these workshops. You're going to have a Cvent app that's also going to show you the agenda. And now you're going to start seeing, okay, I saw that things started at 8 a.m. I was able to register. Saw they had a competition. I see these couple things here and there. But now I get to 4 p.m. and there's 16 different events. William, how do I decide what to do? Well, this is where planning out your conference and trying to figure out what's best for you comes into play. Looking at those companies and looking at what they're hiring, who they're hiring, already checking out what internships they have, or what co-ops they have, or what full-time jobs they have, what majors they're hiring for. I would use that information first and then go and select a workshop to attend based off of that. I will also give you the warning now that these workshops are traditionally at maybe 60, 80, 100 folks, whatever number of seats are available in that room. Once they run out, they run out. Fire marshal usually doesn't allow us to continue to jam pack folks in there. So my recommendation for workshops is usually 15 minutes early of arrival to try to guarantee that you get a spot. And if you say, hey, there's two companies at the same time that I want to attend, in this case, we'll use Chevron, American Express, and Bank of America. How do I decide? This is all a personal decision. I'm going to give you some real advice. Do not stick with your friends here. You got to do what's best for you on this one. So if your friends, example, are chemies and they want to go to Chevron, and you're an industrial engineer or computer software and you want to go work at American Express, hey, goodbye, friends. I'll see you guys later. I'm here, trying to get my job, trying to get my internship, trying to get my co-op, et cetera, et cetera. So make the schedule for you. The Cvent app will have the opportunity or capability for you to create your own agenda for yourself, and you're gonna be able to tailor your own schedule. I'm old school and I don't trust my phone in the building where I might lose service. So I write down my schedule. I put workshop 1, 2, 3, all at 4 p.m. If I can't make it into 1 because it's full, I'm making it into 2. And if I can't make it into 2, I'm making it into 3. Any questions, or not questions, comments you want to add on to there, Cindy?
No, I mean, if you're in the case that you already have something lined up for the summer, or you already have your full time, then you can kind of just go by like, oh, this one sounds interesting, base it off of what you're interested most, like the topics that are going to be covered. But first and foremost, if you're not in a situation where you already have something lined up, then yes, I actually followed the same advice that Will gave. So.
Yep. And something I'm going to add on is, my opinion is, if you've never heard of a company and there's not necessarily one workshop that's standing out to you, go sit in one anyways. You never know what these companies do, especially if it's your first time attending or if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior. I've sat in multiple workshops and found out that this company does sustainability and renewable energy, and they hire a ton of industrial engineers. And I was like, what? I had no idea who you were before I walked into this workshop. So if it was me, I wouldn't waste a minute of what's going on at the conference. I would constantly either be in a workshop, or I'd be networking, or looking for mentors and trying to find ways to better set up my career in the future. I'm going to just highlight a couple things. There is going to be an opening ceremony at 5:30, being that Bank of America and Northrop Grumman are, I guess, co-hosting this. There will likely be a lot of recruiters from those two companies there. So it might be a good opportunity to go in, chat with them. But they're going to have a whole event. There's going to be a stage, a ton of seats. Up to you if you want to attend. I'm not going to comment any further there. Cindy, I don't know if you have any comments for that one. I really want to get to the hospitality suites.
Yes. Hospitality suites.
Cool. So hospitality suites, if you've never been, you probably don't know what this is, but a hospitality suite, imagine a room, maybe a classroom with, I'm going to say it could be custom, but I'm going to say for this example, no tables, no chairs, and you're going to have a huge line of folks waiting to get in. Inside will be the company representatives. Depending on the company, it could be 10 of them, it could be 15, it could be 30 representatives. Depending on the company, they're going to run it differently on their strategy and their brand. But overall, this is another really, really good opportunity to go talk to companies, learn about the company, potentially land interviews from the companies. And usually what will happen is you get in line, and when you get to the front, they might ask you a question of like, hey, what are you looking for? Or what's your major? And based off of that, they'll point you in a direction, again, depending on the company. I will tell you, and this is a guess from me and my friends, we suspect from the companies that host hospitality suites, about 50% of their interviews that they have are handed out at the hospitality suites. I don't know if you disagree, agree with that, Cindy.
Agree 100%.
Okay,
because that's
cool.
what we're planning. So I also recruit for SLB. We are not hosting a hospitality suite, but I know we've talked about it in the future. And if we are to have a hospitality suite in the future, we've already decided that for the I believe the second day of interviews, we'll actually allot the hospitality suite, I guess, attendees that we see that day for that second day of interviews. So just keep that in mind. That if you go to hospitality suites, it's not just kind of like, oh, let's go get some food. It's like, oh, okay, this is my opportunity to go and talk to one of the recruiters for this company that I'm really interested in, or like Will said, I don't know anything about this company, but it's interesting. It's interesting to me. That could be an opportunity for you to land an interview. So keep that in mind.
Totally agree. And I've landed multiple interviews at hospitality suites. Something I did forget to mention, this shows 7:30 to 9:30. I'm gonna give you guys this warning once. The hospitality suites, for anyone who's attended the conference, knows how many interviews are potentially handed out there, or how important they are. So the line starts early. When I was in college, I used to get in line 5:30, 6 o'clock at the latest, and I would send one of my friends, or I'd go get the food for everybody, and we'd eat in line basically, waiting to get into the hospitality suite. Cindy mentioned something of there's food in the hospitality suite. So traditionally, companies will pay for food. So there'll be finger food or food you can eat, sliders, fries, all the chicken tenders, all sorts of stuff. My recommendation, and I still recommend this to students, is do not touch the food. Focus on talking to the companies, focus on meeting, networking, and trying to land that interview. I would go ahead and do that, and then maybe at like 9:15, if there's food, eat. But my goal was always land interview, land interview, land interview. Cindy, I don't know if you want to add anything else. If not,
What's good about this is that you have an hour before. I believe the advisor track is the only thing that's 6:30 to 7:30, but the opening ceremony you see ends at 6:30, and hospitality suites start at 7:30. So I'm pretty sure people immediately after the opening ceremony are going to start lining up for hospitality suites. So, yeah, something to keep in mind.
boom, 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 and then we're basically done at that point. It looks like there's some networking and some kickoff celebrations. Might be a good opportunity to
Use
meet
for
folks.
networking. Yeah.
Yeah, network, and then I'm not sure who LAM is, so maybe that's a company. I don't know their acronym, but RTX, I believe that's Raytheon Technologies. So
Yeah.
even companies are sponsoring these events at the end of the day for networking. Again, might be a good opportunity to meet either other students, graduate students, mentors, or company reps. Day 2, check-in starts at where's check-in? Code check.
Registration. Registration 7 a.m.
7 a.m. So Ernesto, I think you had mentioned that you guys are getting there late on Wednesday.
The first.
7 a.m. opens registration. So as soon as you guys want, you can go grab your registration in the morning and hit activities soon after that. SHPE breakfasts. So I'm not going to specifically speak to this SHPE breakfast, but I'm going to speak to any breakfast or lunch that you see on the menu. In the past, these were invite activities. I don't know that anyone has gotten invites or signed up for these. Any of the students, we don't register, so me and Cindy haven't registered. Can someone confirm if they've seen either a sign on or
we actually got an email on that, so I can talk to that. So all of the SHPE breakfast, luncheons, the STEM, I think the STEM luncheon, there's a couple of different ones that you need tickets for. The tickets are going to be available on the booth right next to registration. So this year we're not doing like a sign up at registration, like when you registered for convention. It does not follow that same process anymore. So you're going to have to go in person when you register. Right next to it, it's going to be a ticketing booth. That is where you will be able to go and get tickets for all of the different breakfasts and lunches that you would want to attend. So I recommend as soon as you get to the convention center, register and go get those tickets if you're interested in any of the breakfast or lunch opportunities, because they will go out. Like they will sell out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and consider that a benefit of showing up early, because to Cindy's point, they're gonna run out. So if you do get to Salt Lake City early on Wednesday, I would check in as early as you can, even if you have your stuff straight from the airport, to be able to grab these activities. 1, free food, but 2, they're hosted by companies, as you can see here. And I've seen it in the past where if the company is hosting, either they might set up representatives from their company at each table, or there's going to be opportunities to engage with them. So just my 2 cents. I don't know if you want to add on to any of that. You gave us the wisdom.
There was a question on the chat. Can I get more than 1 ticket? You can only get 1 ticket per person for each event. So let's say I want to go to the SHPE's breakfast on Thursday and the SHPE's luncheon on Friday. I can get 1 ticket for both of those, but I can't say like, oh, me and my friend both want to go, but she's not here yet. Let me get her ticket. You cannot do that. You're only limited to your own ticket.
So, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna come back to these competitions. No big deal. Shout out to Luis Ortero. And then similar to what we talked about Wednesday, you're gonna have a ton of workshops going on. It looks like they start at as early as 9 a.m. Breakfast at 8:30. And here's something to consider. You're gonna have the breakfast 8:30 to 10. It's overlapping with the first set of workshops. So here's where you guys need to decide what's important. Where do I need to invest my time? Where am I going to have the best success for what I'm looking for at the conference? So again, I'm not going to spend too much time on the individual workshops here, but there is a lot. And I mean, it looks like there's, I don't know, 18, 21 workshops potentially at the same time. Boom, boom, boom. Cindy, please stop me if you want to add anything here. I don't want to use all our time. I want to leave some time for Q&A.
Do want to mention for the lunches and the breakfast, you are still able to go and leave early. Just make sure you sit like on the closest to the nearest exit, so that way you don't interrupt. Because usually we do have speakers during breakfast and lunch events.
Yep. Not a good look if you sit in the front and then leave as soon as you finish your food.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. Let's see if there's corporate tours. Didn't highlight that yet. So corporate tours are a great opportunity to go and either learn about the company. I've gone to Lockheed Martin's corporate tour. I've gone to General Motors corporate tours, seen a bunch of different stuff on how they make it or the culture of the company or their offices. I think we went to Microsoft or Facebook corporate tours when we went to Seattle for a convention. I recommend signing up for them. In the past, they were first come, first serve, and I think on Sunday, a student had mentioned to me that they might cost $15. Don't let those $15 stop you from signing up for these. If your like dream company or one of your companies that you're interested in is Goldman Sachs, I'd recommend signing up. It's going to be an opportunity for maybe 30 or 60 attendees to go to their office, and instead of fighting off the 1,000 other folks who are going to talk to Goldman Sachs at their hospitality suite or at the career fair, you're going to be able to talk to the representatives right there in their offices and ask good questions. Anything you want to add on to corporate tours, Cindy?
Not to corporate tours, but something I remembered for the lunches and the breakfasts. If you don't get tickets for those events, I still recommend that you, if that's what you really want to go to, there is a standby line. And if people are late by, I believe, 10 minutes, like people who have tickets, if you're late by 10 minutes, you forfeit you forfeit your seat automatically. So then they'll start letting people in the standby line in. So just because you don't get a ticket does not mean you absolutely cannot enter. Still go and get in line, the standby line, if that's what
Love
you
it.
really want to attend. Yep.
Free food, company speakers, opportunities to meet company representatives, and also network with the other folks that sit at your table for eating breakfast or lunch. I do recommend following Cindy's advice there. And then I think we're on Thursday now. Thursday, again, more hospitality suites. And again, look at the companies. There's a ton of opportunities here, different companies, different industries. I, again, would recommend getting in line early. If you get there Wednesday, you'll see that we have a ton of students already getting in line 6:30, 6:15, 6 o'clock for these hospitality suites. So my opinion, get there early, be one of the first ones in to try to land whatever conversation and objective you're trying to get out of these experiences are. Boom, boom. So lots of events. You guys can dig into these. I'm not going to dig into each individual one, just kind of highlighting the big ones. All right. Something I haven't mentioned yet, but interview booths, they're ongoing and they start on Wednesday. So we'll get to the uploading resumes, and we'll get to the interview booth floor. I'm just gonna leave that there for now. But resumes are happening from Wednesday through Saturday. FYI. Interviews, I'm sorry. Interviews are happening from Wednesday through Saturday, FYI. Looks like career fair opens at 8:30. 8:30 to noon. Here's my 2 cents on the career fair. We were told there's no special lines or early access registration this year. There might, or there will be, what they have golden tickets. There will be select folks at the convention that if you, I don't know, answer a question in a workshop or engage with the right person, they might hand you a golden ticket. This will allow you to skip the line for the career fair. In the past, I saw either company reps or ship staff providing these golden tickets. I do not recommend going up to a company and saying, "Hey, do you have a golden ticket for me?" If they hand it to you, they hand it to you, and congratulations. What I would say on the career fair is it's similar to what Black Friday used to be. If it was me and I really I haven't landed any interviews yet and I'm looking for the career fair interviews, I'd be in line at 6:30, 7 o'clock, waiting for this 8:30. I've seen folks ready to go at 5 a.m. Again, I'm just providing you insight of what I've seen. It's up to you guys what you do with that information. Cindy, I don't know what you want to add on to the career fair there.
Insight from the recruiter side. We are looking at Friday's attendees. If we see you on Friday and we like you, we're going to try and get you into one of our interview spots, either the same day on Friday or on Saturday, but they do fill up. So the earlier you get to career fair and the earlier you get to the companies that you really want to interview with, the better. So yeah, just keep that in mind.
Totally agree. Boom, boom, boom. So career fair. My opinion is if you're waiting for the career fair to land the first interview, you're doing it wrong. Workshops are great opportunities to highlight lunch and learns, breakfast, hospitality suites, great opportunities to land those interviews. This should almost be like, hey, option 4 or 5 for landing interviews. Not a bad place, but there's other options that come before this, in my opinion.
But I will say, if you are still in the situation where this is still your first opportunity to get an interview, don't be discouraged. Keep going. I was in your shoes at one point in time, so
Totally agree.
yeah.
Looks like Chevron's got a corporate tour, so shout out to Chevron. It's going to be a refinery. Do you guys, and I'm going to speak to kind of my story here of I never got to go to any corporate tours. I never got to go to any facilities. I was first gen. Mom cleans houses. Dad works on a farm. Going to this kind of stuff is like the first time that I was really able to see engineering and how it works live and in person. So if you haven't been able to see that and you're interested in any sort of manufacturing, this would be a really cool corporate tour to go check out. Boom, boom, boom. I see there's a question there. Cindy, do you mind reading it while I just kind of zoom through the rest of this?
Yeah, when you mentioned lining up very early for the career fair, would that be inside the convention center or would people be required to line up outside for that? So I know last year it was all inside, but it actually, the line was so long that we had some exhibitors outside lined up for check-in. So depending on what the setup is, it should all be inside, but don't be surprised if the line is long enough to where people are standing outside.
Yeah, the
Let's
fire
just say.
marshal and security will make that decision. Salt Lake City's cold and it might be snowing. It's possible, but it shouldn't snow by that time. So I don't know. I'd bring a coat just in case if you have one.
Mhm.
Let's see, we're on November 4th now. Events, I'll let you guys
Something
look into
something
those.
about the
Go ahead.
print station room, because I know we've seen the print station room day 4, so all throughout the 4 days that you're there, you might want to still print your resumes before you get there, whether that's like at home, because you never know whether or not you're going to be the only one trying to print resumes, which most likely you're not going to be. You don't know if the printers are going to stop working. You don't know if it's going to be expensive to print. So yeah, there's a lot that can kind of inhibit you from printing your resume if that is your last option. Or
I
make it your
will
last option. Don't make it your first option.
I will recommend to Cindy's point there, bring like 50 copies. That's what I used to bring
Yeah.
from my university to the conference in a pad folio. Have your resume on a flash drive, at least in your backpack. So worst case, you go back to your hotel room, grab the flash drive, and you can print it. Also have it available on email, so you can just email it to a printer, or email it to somebody else, and they can print it for you. So always have access to your resume while you're there at conference. I'm gonna highlight this really quick because we got 2 RVPs in here. We're gonna be hosting some regional lounges. There are no regional meetings this year, but the regional lounges, they're gonna give us our own freedom to create our own agendas. I will be honest, we haven't created ours for Region 7 yet, but we're gonna be working on it this coming week, and we're gonna have opportunities for you guys to come in and engage with regional leadership, other professionals. We'll create agenda for you guys, and you guys can come. It is during the career fair. Career fair starts at 10 a.m., 9 to 2. Up to you guys on where you're going to spend your time. If you're still looking for that interview or that full-time job or co-op, I will even tell you, get out of here, go to the career fair and spend your time over there. Cindy, I don't know if you want to add anything to your guys'. I know.
For Region 5 Lounge, even if you're not from Region 5, we welcome everyone. We are gonna have snacks. So if it's even like stop by and just like say hi, grab some chips and go back to the career fair, so be it. We'll be there.
All right, Region 7 is going to go to Region 5, take their snacks and bring it back to our lounge. Good call.
As long as you don't take all of them, that's fine.
Everything is ours. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, at a highlight, that's what I consider the important stuff from the agenda. Cindy, do you want to hit anything else? We got career fair, 10 to 4.
Mm-mm. Oh, last thing at 7, I believe that's the SHPE closing party. The theme is Wonderland, I think is what it was. So they're gonna have like fun activities, I think fake snow inside and things like that. So dress warm, dress nice, but also dress cute is what I've been told because there's gonna be a lot of photo ops.
Got it.
So yeah.
I'm on it. Dress nice, dress warm, dress cute. Triple threat. Take care of it. Okay, so everything on the agenda there. If you guys have questions on the agenda, feel free to put them in the chat. And then this is what I consider a, let's see what else we got on here before I jump to this.
One chat or one from the chat. Fair warning, the printing station rooms did not allow to swap paper types like to better quality at his first SHPE convention. That was from Esteban. So yeah,
that
good.
Probably will be the same to keep it simple. That's probably a rule that they've made and they probably won't let you change that rule. Cindy, do you want to talk about competitions here for a second? I know.
So real quick, there are 2 competitions that are research based. So one is that 3-minute grad thesis competition that is only for graduate students. So that's if you're pursuing your master's, your PhD. And I believe the deadline for those have already passed. So if you're in, you're in. And if you're not, join next year. For STEM research competition, that's that 4th one. That one is also research based, and that one's open to undergrads as well. So if you're an undergrad, you're doing research and you want to compete, I believe you have to pitch your research for like 3 or 5 minutes, something like that, and then you can get cash prizes. There's 2 other competitions that are not research based. That's the Academic Olympiad and Cybersecurity Challenge. So Academic Olympiad is actually made up of 3 each team is made up of 3 people. Usually they're all from the same university. William actually participated part of the Academic Olympiad, so I don't know if you want to talk more about that.
I can talk about how it used to be. So this competition, they had it back in the day. They removed it somewhere in like 2016, 2017. But at a high level, it was 3 people from the same university. And the first part of the test was a written test, 50, 55 questions. All sorts of STEM questions go. It could have been biology, chemistry, aerospace engineering, computer logic, electrical engineering, all sorts mixed into this 55, calculus, physics, anything goes. The number 1 team from each region that comes out of that as scoring the highest will then go to round 2 in the past, and it was a Jeopardy style game where now you're competing against the other 6 regions, and whoever has the highest score at the end would win. You're looking at 2012 champion right here. What's up? And then the cybersecurity challenge, I believe it's an all-day, 2-day challenge, and they give you an assignment. You get a team, and you guys have to come up with a solution, and you present it to company reps, and you get scored. And again, there's probably there in the past has been cash prizes. Let me click in here and see if they're.
Yeah, so cybersecurity challenge has taken over what used to be extreme engineering. So extreme engineering used to be a 24-hour, which I felt like it was longer than 24 hours. I did participate in this one, and you did win cash prizes. I think top 3 won cash prizes, and depending on your sponsors, you got like extra stuff. I know like second place got like a free trip to California, which I was like, that's not fair, but also looking at first place winner here. But yeah, so there are a lot of opportunities for you to get some cash prizes, get some experience in some of these competitions. But we will say all of these are usually during the convention, during workshops, during hospitality suites. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. Like, what is more beneficial to you at this point? You know, trying to get into one of these competitions and being sponsored by a company that you really want to work for, or go to workshops to try and figure out which company you actually want to get an opportunity with. So keep that in mind. Can undergrads participate in Academic Olympiad, Cybersecurity Challenge? Yes, as well as the STEM Research Challenge. So all but the first one. That's only for graduate students.
So it looks like this might be just a 1-day competition. Still a lot because it's Thursday and you're doing all the workshops, lunch and learns, and part of the hospitality suites by the time you're done. What was I going to mention here? Obviously, there's a cash prize, and you mentioned that. boom, boom, boom. And then what's something somebody mentioned I want to add on to of, hey, you need to decide which companies you want to go to the workshops or if you want to go spend your time here. These are the sponsors for this event. So if hypothetically your dream company is the NSA or Rockwell Automation and RTX, this might be a good opportunity for you to go build relationships with these companies. So again, it's all about that strategy of what's best for me. I'm gonna keep rolling, and I see there's
There was a
what should
yeah,
we
there was
bring
a
up first so that I can
question. Mhm.
I would bring calculators, but they might not even allow you to use them if they are strict with it. I think they gave us a 4-function calculator, one per team. So no graphing, no TAI, XX number. This isn't calculus one. You can't bring it. All right.
Also, it looks like for Academic Olympiad, you need to register by October 31st, which is that Tuesday. So make sure you go to this page. If you click on register for Academic Olympiad, then a form will pop up and it'll have more information there, and it says deadline October 31st.
All right.
Yeah.
Key information that I did not know about either. All right, so there you go. You have it, folks. We're gonna keep rolling. Here we're running short on time. All right, so seen all this. We've talked about corporate tours. We're not gonna talk about request support or travel attendees. I can let you guys figure all of that stuff out. We're gonna skip to exhibitor resources. And this is my super secret trick that nobody knows about except me right now. So I'm gonna help you guys out. I go to this interview booth and click here. It shows me the interview booth floor plan. And once I open this up, go to exhibitor list, and it actually shows you how many booths certain exhibitors have. So I know you guys might not have ever thought of this as students, because I know I didn't when I was a student. Each of these booths, the companies have to pay for additional ones. So they get one as IPC or for registering for the conference. But if they have more than one, so I'm going to use this company, I think Abbott, they have a whole section in the bottom left. They're going to be running interviews 30 or 45-minute time slots all day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So to me, it shows that Abbott versus AECOM is going to have more interview slots available. Another good example, I always like to bring up Boeing, because they love interviewing on site, and Boeing basically owns the bottom right of the interview floor plan here. So again, when you're creating that strategy of where I want to focus my time, maybe this is a place to look at it to help you craft your strategy. I will also add, and there's a question a sophomore brought up to me Sunday. Hey, William, we heard that there's some companies that folks don't know about. Like, how do we get those companies, or how do we identify those? I'm like, okay, if you're going to do that, I would go look at the list of companies going and look at all the companies that you recognize the names, their household names, and then subtract that list from the companies you're going to start doing research on. If that's going to be your strategy of, hey, this is my first time, I really just want to land an internship. And if I'm not trying to pick on freshmen because I've seen freshmen do it, or freshmen or sophomore, and like, hey, I really want to land my internship at Microsoft, but maybe you don't have the experience yet, or the leadership, or anything. There might be other companies where have more opportunity that are less of that household name. They have less demand. You're going to see really long lines for the Lockheed Martins, for the Northrop Grumman, for the Microsoft, for the Google, for the Accenture, for the Boeing. So just 2 cents. And again, all of this is my opinion, William Gonzalez's opinion. You decide on how you want to spend your time at the conference. Cindy, do you want to add anything, or maybe disagree with me completely?
No, I agree.
All right. See, and I don't remember where it is, but I think you could also look at the floor plan for
Career fair.
For the actual career fair. Yep,
Right
here it
there.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason I bring this up is I don't know where the doors are. It looks like the entrance is down here. All right. So if I want to plan out how I'm going to attack this, imagine there's a big line coming out of this, and as soon as they open those doors, I want to be one of the first ones to talk to my company. Let's say hypothetically I'm confident and I want to go talk to company number 1 in my heart, dream job first. I want to know exactly where their booth is. I want to have Air Products' number of 527 and their location memorized. As soon as they let me in, I'm like, all right, I'm going straight, get to that spot, make a left, boom, boom, boom. Air Products, I'm here to talk to you guys. You guys are the first one, boom, boom. Maybe you don't want to go talk to your number 1 company first. Identify some other companies again in advance. Go there. The reason I say go there fast and early is to not spend time waiting in line. The worst thing that someone could do is say, okay, I'm going to go explore the career fair first. I'm going to walk around, identify, see where all the companies are. And now it's, it opened at 8:30. I got in here at 9. It's now 10. And I haven't even talked to a company yet because I've been trying to build up the courage to do it. You see me, I'm going to go tell you, go talk, go figure it out, fail and try again, fail and try again until you land something. Don't come to me for a pep talk if that's not what you're looking for. So all my tips and tricks here on the interview blue floor and on the career fair floor. Cindy, do you want to add anything?
No, I agree. I mean, the Friday's career fair window is going to go by extremely fast, extremely fast. So, I mean, it really is going to depend how early you get in line that day. So critical.
Totally agree. One more thing to add that I think we skipped on. You can still upload your resumes. Where was that? I forgot where it was, but you can still upload your resumes. And
yeah, try up your
totally skipped over.
upload.
Yeah.
There is a question on the chat of uploading both Word or PDF, but the format kind of like changes when you upload it. I would just say go ahead and upload it anyway, because I've gone as a recruiter and I've seen a couple of resumes and the formatting is off, but I know that it's not the student that just didn't know how to format. I know it's the actual platform
program.
So
Yep.
I'd say just go ahead and upload it. And if it shows that it's not, correct and you've tried multiple times to fix it and it doesn't work, just go ahead and upload it anyway. Just make sure that your information is on there and you should be fine.
So I totally agree with what Cindy said. What folks are going to be doing in advance, I'm going to identify Boeing because we've talked about them. They have a lot of interview slots. They've paid for these interview rooms. They're going to be contacting attendees in advance to schedule interviews for Wednesday because they don't have time to meet you yet. So they're going to want to see your GPA. They're going to want to see your major, leadership experience, experience in general. Don't worry about the format for the online. Totally agree. Just get it in there and pay attention to your phone, pay attention to your email in the next coming weeks. And when I say pay attention to your phone, if you're one of those folks who does not pick up a call because you don't recognize the number, my thought is pick up every call. Every call is potential recruiter calling, and I want to pick up on the first one because I want to land a good first impression. If you want to wait for the voicemail and then call them back, that's on you. And then I've had folks tell me that they don't pay attention to their emails, and then they realized after the convention that they actually got emailed by a company, and it was like, hey, we saw your resume. Can you schedule an interview? Here are some time slots for Wednesday, boo, boo, boo. And it's like, yo, your time passed, and that was an opportunity lost.
Mail, because sometimes it does go to junk or spam. So
yep.
Check that.
So, those are 2 cents there. We have 10 minutes left. I see some questions that populated over here. If we want, I will start answering those in chat. And then if you guys want to start raising your hand and come off camera, say hi, or just voice, feel free to ask questions.
There is one question. So we'll just take the first question. I see that there's a coat check. Do most people wear their suit jacket or blazer throughout the entire day? Would you recommend doing so, or would it be fine to check your jacket and wear the rest of the suit? This is the first time I see a coat check, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, so they've done coat checks where it's cold. So like Seattle had coat checks, Salt Lake City will have a coat check. Indianapolis had coat checks. They just take your coat. So imagine you got the suit or whatever you're wearing underneath, and then you're bringing that coat on top. That's usually what people are checking. Their jacket for the suit, they're usually keeping on. Some folks will come full professional all day, every day with the mentality of landing that first good impression always. Some folks come business casual. I think the University of Illinois Champaign is notorious for wearing khakis and orange shirts at conference, even through the career fair. Up to you on what you want to do for your brand and how you're going to dress. But the space is going to be available. They're going to give you a ticket, and if it costs money, it'll cost $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 max. But it should be free because the convention center probably is including it, and Ship National is paying for it. When uploading.
There is no back check-in, by the way. Alessandro, are you part of Region 7 or Region 5? Because we can probably take that one offline.
I'm part of Region 5.
Okay, let's talk. Do you have my email? RVP5, RVP5 at shep.org. Here, I'll put it on here.
No bag check. Are we allowed to bring a bag though? You are allowed to bring bags. I'm gonna make some quick comments on
Can
bringing
you
bags. Go ahead.
can you actually go to the slides?
Oh, yes, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
No, it's
Where are
okay.
we at? Boom, boom,
And
boom.
then you can go ahead and say what you were gonna say, but just put it on the screen. Next one. Yes.
Okay. What I was gonna say is be careful on the bags, like full business professional, and then having the backpack on just doesn't look right. A nice professional satchel looking thing is acceptable. But I've seen folks have a big bag of sorts with them, and then they got all this stuff in there. And then when they're in line at the career fair or the hospitality suite, they're like digging through their bag, and it's like a weird little situation when you're trying to get something out to then handshake and do the resume and all of that stuff. So my advice would be no, and just do pad folio, cell phone. But if you need a bag, there's no rules against bringing a bag. Cindy, I don't know
I
if you want to add anything.
actually am of the mind. I've always had a backpack, but I always make sure that like everything that I need is accessible. So like I'm carrying my Padfolio and I have my backpack, but it's my backpack's not like, overwhelming me, or I don't have to reach into my backpack to dig for anything. I have everything I need in front of me with my Padfolio. And like Will said, I mean, there's people with portfolios, with briefcases, satchels, things like that. There's also usually they give you a bag as well, like when you register, you can use that as well. If you don't have anything, if you feel you don't have anything as nice, you don't necessarily have to go out and spend money on that.
Yep,
So,
totally
yep.
agree.
And just
You want to
quickly,
cover
what
this?
to pack. Sorry, quickly, want to cover this. What to pack. Obviously, pack warm, pack comfortable. You will be walking extensively. So, girls with the heels, if you really want to wear the heels, take an extra pair of shoes in your bag, in your backpack, whatever, because you will get blisters. And you don't want to get blisters on the first day of convention because you will suffer for the rest of convention. Take it from me. I have experienced it. I've made mistakes. Don't make them. Pack your charger. If you have a portable charger, those are encouraged. I mean, those are like 20, $30 on Amazon. And they just had Prime Day. So if you took advantage of it, good. Resume copies, we did mention that. Even if you plan to print on site, take your 50 copies with you. And then the previous slide is just some professional attire inspiration. So ladies, if you want to wear skirts, make sure they're down to the knees, make it tasteful. That goes with dresses as well. Guys, if you want to wear polos, or I guess everyone, if you want to wear polos, you can do so. I am of the mind that if you are going to career fair, then you dress to a T as much as you can. So I avoid polos. I go for a nice blouse or a nice button down with slacks or a nice like proper suit attire. And for the workshops and hospitality suites, then you can go more of like the business casual, where if you have khakis, if you have slacks, and just like a polo, that's fine. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Cindy said. And even on the shoe piece, I've had it where, especially my first or second career convention, where, it was the first time that I actually was like wearing a suit for some reason ever in my life. And I had just gotten fresh professional dress shoes. They destroyed my feet, even as a guy. It just doesn't only happen to the girls. So my advice would be, if you're going to be the first time you're wearing these shoes, break them in. Like by my junior year, I was wearing my dress shoes around the house, like around the apartment, just fucking getting them ready to go, so they weren't destroying my feet. And even today, when I wear comfortable shoes, it is a lot of standing, it is a lot of walking, especially over the course of those 4 or 5 days.
Agreed.
Questions, comments, concerns? Anyone has a good joke? Where we at? We shoved everything in that we did into 56 minutes, or yeah, 56 minutes. You guys are good?
Best way to approach recruiters. Ooh, that's a good one. I would say be yourself, be authentic. Like if you're usually not the kind of person to crack jokes and this is the first time you're gonna try and like approach someone with a joke, I don't recommend it. If you're very confident, go for it. But don't try to be something you're not. And don't try to like, oh, because my friend was funny. He cracked a joke and he had a great conversation with this recruiter. I'm going to try and do the same. It really shows because I've done something similar like that and I did not have luck with that company. Okay. So I would say, I mean, just, have peppermints, have gum, and try to have like hand sanitizer or like a little rag or something, because if you're very sweaty, my hands always sweat a lot. So have something in mind. I know it sounds silly, but have something to where you can just like, like not on your shirt or anything like that, but have something where you can be like, all right, I'm ready. And like I just ate, I don't know, some sort of like onion chicken. Okay, then I need my mints, my gum. Make sure you take care of that. And then just go up, smile, show enthusiasm for, like, oh, hi, my name is so and so. What's your name? I don't know, you could say something like, how's the weather? Or like, are you used to the cold? I'm not. It's kind of wild. But anyway, I'm here because I heard that you had opportunities for industrial engineers. So just make sure that it flows. To me, the best way to approach somebody is just, it's a flowing conversation, have good dialogue, have good eye contact, and be confident. I mean, we're probably nervous too. As recruiters, we're human, and just keep that in mind that we're probably thinking like, oh my gosh, do I have something on my teeth, or like, I don't know, but we get nervous too. Just keep that in mind.
I would add, Juan, on your question there, great question. Research. Understand what the company's hiring for, what they're looking for. The last thing I want to hear is, hi, my name is Juan, I'm studying industrial engineering. What could I do at your company? Or what does your company do? If I go up to Cindy and I'm talking to her, I want to know, hey, or I want to say something along the lines of, hey, my name is William Gonzalez, studying industrial engineering. I already researched SLB's page, and the reason I'm here today is that I saw you guys have a manufacturing internship that is looking for industrial engineers with XYZ experience or requirements. I actually meet those. Is it okay if we review my resume? I've actually already applied online. And then have that conversation. At that point, you can talk to them about what you meet for those requirements and make it really easy for the recruiter instead of handing them a resume and waiting for them to ask you questions. My 2 cents, all of this takes practice. You're not going to get it perfect on the first go, especially if it's your first time attending.
Christian, so I guess we kind of understood that question differently. Like, how long did you stay in one hospitality suite? So I think, Will, you mentioned you talked to one person, one
Yep.
rep, but no more than 2 reps before moving on to the next one?
Yep.
Okay. I thought you meant like hospitality suites in general. So I was like, I once got to 3 hospitality suites. But I just like 2. That's my sweet spot. But
It's
you can
it's
figure it out.
Yeah, I totally agree. And to Cindy's point, Christian, the reason I 1, 2 is because the next line is also long. So like you get out of one and now you're gonna go wait in line and it's gonna burn anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes for the second hospitality suite you go to. It's gonna be up to you. I was the kind of guy who was there from 6 until 10 o'clock when they were like kicking us out of the building because I was like, I need interviews. So my 2 cents on that one.
Ian asks, what do you think the best use of time is while waiting in line, maybe researching the company? Highly recommend researching the company. You can look at press releases. So for example, SLB, we actually just had one of our like inner companies do a whole rebranding. So if you come up to me and say, hey, I heard One Subsea is like they've rebranded, we've acquired Aker Solutions or part of that business, I'm going to be very impressed because you're keeping up to date with like what's going on with our company. So not just like figure out the values of the company, but you try to look at press releases. What are they saying in the news about that company?
Totally agree. Any more questions?
I did see Ophelia. You came on to say hi. Do you have a question?
Oh no, I just thought the meeting was ending, so I was just gonna wave goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Well, thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on camera. You're the only one that was brave enough to come on camera. All right, I'm gonna do one more call out here. Questions, comments, anybody? If you guys have no questions today, I expect all of you to land 17 interviews. All right, we will be having one more event that Cindy and I are hosting tomorrow, and we're gonna have 3 panelists. Jay Flores, who has been in SHPE for like 15 years and now is an entrepreneur, worked at Rockwell Automation, studied mechanical engineering, so he's got good experience. Served as RVP, served on the national board, lots of different stuff. Cindy, I don't know if you want to give a sneak peek into your panelists that you're bringing for Reason
Yeah, so
5.
I have 2 panelists. They're professionals. So I have one, Jose Mendez, and Paula Montiel. So I have a Shetina and a non-Shetina. But they're both professionals. I believe one did mechanical engineering and I think the other did chemical engineering. So yeah, you'll get to hear more about them tomorrow.
Awesome. All right, last caller. Now we're ending.
Sounds like we're good.
Enough.